Great, thank you. All right, so I'm going to call to order a meeting of the Affordable Housing Trust for May 5th, 2020. And I'm going to read the statement. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the North Andover Affordable Housing Trust will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the town's website at www.northandoverma.gov. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen to the meeting may do so on their televisions by tuning to Comcast Channel 8 or Verizon Channel 26 or online at www.northandovercam.org. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately assess the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Town of North Andover website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceedings as soon as possible. Okay.
By the way, everyone, this is Chris G. joined the meeting.
Oh, hi, Chris. Great.
Hi, sorry to interrupt, Larry.
That's okay. All right, so the first item on the agenda is the approval of the April 2nd minutes. Does someone want to make a motion?
We want to do roll call first?
Well, we can do the roll call at the motion.
Okay, I'll make the motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, roll call vote. We want to establish an order. I guess I'll do the names. George, you have to unmute.
Oh, now can you hear me?
Yep,
Sorry, I just figured out the mute button.
that's
So
okay.
I have a question, well, a comment. In the minutes, there's two paragraphs, two motions. And it just states that the motions were made and it doesn't say anything about the result. It's near the bottom of the first page.
Oh,
It says motion made by Richard Valancourt, seconded by Christopher G, that the minimum amount paid by the town per household be $2,000 per month for a maximum of 3 months. And that's it. And it doesn't say anything about motion passed, motion failed.
oh, okay. So we can amend them for the roll call vote. That's the
Yeah.
part that's missing.
And then after that, there's another motion. Wait
Yep.
a second. I think I made you this. I think I read the second one. The first one is the one above it. Motion made by Joan Fitzgibbons to fund 100,000 and so on. Oh no, that says a motion approved.
Right, so the thing that's missing is the roll call vote, so I'll add those to both of those.
Yeah, both motions. I know it's the paragraph. There's just a descriptive paragraph after the second motion, but the second motion, the results of the second motion aren't written in.
Okay, they were both unanimous, so I'll add those in.
Yeah, okay, so can the motion be amended to say approve the minutes as amended or something?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Great.
I'll second.
Any seconds?
Okay.
I'll second, Rob.
Okay. So let's go through the roll call. I should have had the order established beforehand, but okay, George,
Aye.
Dick,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and I am a yes. So that's 6-0. Okay. So the emergency rental assistance program, additional funding. So I don't know if anyone watched or listened to the Board of Selectmen meeting, but though I gave some update on numbers. So as of today, the numbers for the rental assistance program are 14 approvals have been sent out. 12 approvals are pending. Typically, the pending is just they're waiting for the landlord to provide the W-9 or sign the agreement. There are 35 outstanding applications, and then there are another 10 or so that are missing documents. So what I did was I took the
I'm sorry, what's the difference between an outstanding application and missing documents?
So the outstanding applications have all been sent to Greater Lawrence Community Action Council. So right now on their plate, they have 35 that need to be reviewed and approved. I have not sent them the other ones, because I'm making sure that the application packets are complete before they go to Greater Lawrence Community Action Council.
Okay, I understand.
So it's going a little slower than we hoped. I spoke with them today, and they are confident that they can handle the applications and pick up the pace. We are able to pay landlords for rent that wasn't paid in April or May. So the fact that we're already in May is not going to be much of a difference, and we've let people know that. So if the landlords are willing to wait, they can get paid for, we can do the approvals for April, May, June, rather than from May, June, July. So what I did was I looked at all of the money that we've already allocated for the approvals and the pending and what's already been sent over. And assuming that the ones that have not been approved yet all got $3,000, just for talking about funding sake, to get everybody funded, not including the ones that I have not sent to Greater Lawrence Community Action Council yet, would be $128,000. So we're already $28,000 over what we had allocated. The
So that's
additional, what?
So what you're talking, this is Joan, what you're saying is 35 plus 12 plus 14 would equal the $128,000.
Right. No, wait a minute. It's 182. Sorry. It's actually much more than that. If we were to fund everybody, that we've gotten an application from, the total is 182. So
And that includes the 10 that are incomplete.
yeah. So if we need to decide if we want to provide more funding, or if we're just going to keep going down the line and stop when we run out. Now that is assuming that everybody's getting 3,000. That has been the exception. Most of them have been below 3,000, but they've been between 2 and 3 for the 3 months.
So the average is what, around 2,500?
Yeah, maybe a little lower than that, but they're going to start decreasing because unemployment is now giving everybody an extra $600. I believe it's weekly. So because we've been telling people that the purpose of this is to fund the gap between what their income was and what it is now, unemployment is now funding a lot of that gap starting, I believe it's for the next 6 weeks starting. It started either in May or at the very end of April. So we've actually had a couple people contact us to tell us they no longer need it because the gap's been funded.
Yeah, some people are actually making more money with
Exactly.
The unemployment, and then the federal piece of it, they're making more money.
Right. So we don't fund them because they're already made whole. I would like to suggest that if everybody's willing to give more funding to the program, that we use the 100,000 that we were allocated last year from the CPC, so that it would be 100,000 of their money and 100,000 of the trust money that made up this program. And then we can talk about the long-term rental assistance program, which is the next thing on the agenda. But I would suggest that if there was any money left over, that we vote now to just move that over to the long-term program. Because we are seeing that through this, there are people who are already in need of rental assistance, but it wasn't due to COVID. And we've basically run out of money, the home funds for the long-term program. So there is a need there to put more money in that program. So,
That's a little bit more of an open-ended commitment though, isn't it? Automatically shifting the money over to long-term funding.
what do you mean?
Well, the COVID's a relatively short duration, hopefully, whereas the long-term rental assistance is, as the name indicates, a longer-term commitment, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. It's usually a year. So it's usually a 12-month commitment where they help with a portion of your rent, or they can pay first, last, and security if you just need that little extra to help you get into a place. So those are the two options that are under that program that are, all have to do with income eligibility. It's already up and running. It would be an easy thing to, for them to do. I've already talked to Evelyn. I actually spoke with them around 4 o'clock today. They said they can definitely continue to do the long-term program as long as we continue to fund it. I don't know when the next round of home funds is coming, probably after July 1st, but I don't know if that's being delayed. That's somewhere around 40, I think.
Would you recommend that the income limits on the long-term rental assistance program be the same, namely 100%
No,
of AMI?
no.
Use the home consortium number 60%?
Yeah, it's the same. I would suggest that we just move it into the same program. Same requirements, same. It would just be that the funding would be coming directly from us rather than the home consortium.
And are you
So now,
proposing-
Laurie, when would this happen? When would transfer money from one to the other?
After we
How
end the long-term program. So we said our
No.
date was July 2nd. There may not be money left over.
The short-term program, not the long-term, right?
When the short-term program is over, which
Okay, right. Okay.
we said we would only take applications till July 2nd, which we
Yeah.
can discuss too if we want to change that date.
Mhm.
But when July 2nd comes along, if there's money left over, that's when it would move into the long-term program.
Laurie, would we be best served addressing each issue separately here? It's kind of complicated. There are nuances that ripple through here. Might we be best served just to look at the emergency short term and then discuss the long term?
Sure. So do we want to agree to fund them $100,000? Because we're at
Yeah.
182 already. And we can specifically say that it's the CPC funds, and I think that's a good idea because we really should show that we're using the CPC funds that we're getting.
I would support the idea because of the importance of showing the CPC, utilizing the CPC funds effectively, yes.
Yeah,
Everyone, this is Chris. I would support that as well, with the understanding that I think we're still kind of, I don't think we're early on in the process, but at the maybe most optimistically, we're probably somewhere in the middle of this whole epidemic. That so we may have to fund this program more. We may want to consider funding it again at a certain point, especially if we're already at 180 some odd dollars, assuming everyone qualifies. That only leaves us with about $20,000 more.
right.
But yeah, I would support the extra 100,000.
Okay. So someone want to make a motion to allocate an additional $100,000 to the emergency program?
Sure, I'll make the, I move that we allocate $100,000 additional dollars for the emergency relief aid program. That's not the rental assistance, for the emergency rental assistance program.
I'll second that, Rob.
Point of whatever. Do we have to say it's PCP, Lenny?
Sure.
Okay.
You want to add that, George?
Sure. I guess I'm, sure. So is CPC money, when we got that $100,000 from CPC, is that still truly different money?
It's supposed to be, yeah, we have to report it to them. So we didn't report anything this year because we didn't use it.
Yeah, okay, I guess I can understand that.
So now I can report it that we used it. And I would suggest if we get funded again at town meeting, that we use it for, we could talk about what to use it for the long term, unless something comes up, something else comes up.
Yeah, the only concern I have, I guess, is that can that CPC money be used for rental assistance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Remember you handed out a couple months ago a legal opinion, and I can't remember, was rental assistance in that, a legal opinion on what, oh no, I guess it was Affordable Housing Trust could do. Never mind.
Yeah, the CPC specifically sent out information on using, the coalition sent information out on using it for rental assistance programs.
Okay.
Okay, so I will do a roll call vote. George,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes, sorry, I was on mute. Yes.
that's okay. Rob,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and I am a yes, so that is 6-0. Was there any other questions on the emergency program or any other? What I did was in the documents that were attached to the agenda is the application packet, which has the finalized guidelines application. Chris and I worked, as things came in, we were realizing that there were some things we didn't think of. One was really just taking into account the unemployment that people were getting. So we clarified some things, and I think we've addressed almost every possibility that could come up. And I want to thank Chris for his help on that.
Yeah, here. I was impressed by the number of applications. I guess it's good that the program was in place if there's that level of need. So it was a great
A lot
idea.
of restaurant workers.
Yeah.
I know. Isn't that horrible?
Yep. Restaurant workers and some healthcare workers that have had hours reduced. So it's good.
Oh, I just want to say, I think I should, I appreciate the recognition, Laurie, but I think I should just be a footnote because you were very proactive in all of this and thinking up of issues and questions along the way. So kudos to you, Laurie.
Thank you.
I agree.
I agree.
Here.
Okay. So the long-term rental assistance program, I sent you the documents, and we don't have to talk about this tonight. If we want to address this at the next meeting, we certainly can, because we're not going to do anything about this, I don't think, until we get through the emergency one. I'm not sure the Greater Lawrence Community Action Council, I know they have a lot on their plate. They haven't said like, we need this funding right away. But I sent you the documents that have been signed for the current program between the Home Consortium, the town, and Greater Lawrence Community Action Council. What I would do is basically just take out the middleman and use the exact same documents and run the same program. I noticed in this application, at least 3 seniors that did not qualify for emergency rental assistance, and that concerned me, which is why I wanted to get it on the agenda. They just one, 50, 60-year resident had to sell their house and is now having problems making her rental payments. Greater Lawrence Community Action Council thankfully has been able to help some of the people with other programs they might be eligible for, but it really opened my eyes to the need, especially for these seniors. And we've talked about this before, about ways we can help. And with the senior home repair program, I don't think we ever thought about the rental for seniors. So if we want to start off slow and agree to allocate, you know, a smaller amount of money to that program, we want to, if we want to address it to say that it, you know, let's start off with those 60 and older, we could do that. I will tell you the current program looks like total yearly approved grants range from $6,000 to almost $16,000 for the year. And the $6,000 one was the first, last, and security. The other ones that are in the program are all year-long programs where they pay a portion and we pay a portion.
And the portion we pay is more than $1,000 a month.
Some of them, yeah. So I can tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 people currently in the program, and we've basically allocated all of the money. I think this was when there was still $10,000 left. And the amounts that we pay are $1,092, $685. This is per month. $1,119, $920, $1,300, $1,100, $600, and $880. So it varies because it depends on their income and the rate. So, I mean, you guys want to think about it, we can bring it up at the next meeting, or I don't know, it's pretty much already set up, so.
Well,
So what you're saying, Laurie, is that the grants, the 6,000 grant was for first, last, and security. Is that correct?
Yes.
For one person?
Yeah. So I'm assuming it was 2,000,
Right.
right?
And then 16,000 was for the 9 people and the figures that you gave us, the amounts you gave us.
Well, the amounts I gave you were yearly, so those amounts times 12. So yeah, they range from
1,000 a month to, from 600 a month to 1,000, 1,100 a month.
right,
1,300.
and we pay it for 12 months. So yeah, the grant that we do now is the biggest
So
one.
Actually more than 16,000.
No, that was just for one person. So they ranged from 6,000 was the lowest grant amount,
Right.
and almost 16,000 was the highest.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Yeah.
did you mention the total, Lori? I'm sorry if you did. What's the total outlay?
I didn't, I can add it up. I thought it was on here, but I guess it's not.
Was that the 41,000 figure?
Yeah, it's whatever the home funds.
Oh, okay.
well, I think those monthly rentals that you read off multiplied by 12 and added up come to more than $41,000.
Well, we had some funds left over.
When you said there was one for 1,300, one for 1,100,
Yeah.
2 that were near 1,000. So that's 4,400 times 12 is more than 40,000.
Yeah, I think it was for both because we had 2 years of grants from, we had it from 2018 and 2019, and then we'll be adding 2020 to it as well. So it's probably double that. It's around 90,000.
And then, I'm sorry, are there income limits on the seniors that are eligible for this, or is it just being a senior?
No, there are income limits.
But it's gotta be more than 60% of AMI, doesn't it? If, for those kinds of rents, or am I out of touch?
No, yeah, there, it's in the CPC statute. It's defined, it defines, I don't know what it is offhand. Let me see if I can find it.
Well, that's all right. The CPC statute, what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it defines what a senior, low and moderate income.
I'm sorry, CPC doesn't mean Community Preservation Committee, does it? What does it mean? Or
Yeah,
what?
yeah, community preservation.
Oh, okay.
So what you're saying is when we get the $100,000 from CPC, we put it towards the rent of for seniors.
No, that's already gone to the short-term emergency rental assistance.
Right, last year's,
Right.
right. So when we get the funding again for this year, we can decide if that's what we want to do. But we also have our own funds that we can put towards it if we want to do that before town meeting.
Hi all, this is Chris. I just think that, with the momentum that we have with the temporary rental assistance, it'd be a good idea just to kind of have this rolling out in a, kind of parallel to what's going on. But especially as Laurie had indicated that, there are folks who are not eligible. But I think the question for me is how much money do we have now? And I guess in the trust funds.
$871,000. That's
wow.
that's before the two separate $100,000 commitments. So 671,000. So we've allocated, over pushing 20% of the total assets in the short-term pool.
And do we have anything coming up in the near future, like any other building projects or opportunities? Do we have anything in the pipeline, right? I don't think we do, right? So we've got kind of a lot of money sitting there that we could, I think it's a good use for it, some of it.
Yeah, no, we don't have anything, and unfortunately, I think I mentioned it a couple meetings ago. I did send out a letter to two property owners, never heard anything. One of which is a senior, which I'm hoping if they at least don't want to sell us the house, maybe we can get our senior home repair program up and running and provide them maybe with a grant to get some work done around that house. But yeah, we don't have anything in the pipeline. So George, just to answer your question, the home assisted rentals is 60%. But it doesn't distinguish between seniors. I'm trying to find where the senior is defined.
Oh, that's all right. Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Can we back up to the emergency program for a second? We also need to allocate more money to Greater Lawrence Community Action Council.
Oh,
Because we did a flat fee. If you remember last time, we did up to 5,000, which it ended up being, because the home program only paid them 3,000. But after the meeting, when I asked Evelyn about it, she said they typically get paid between 6 and 10%. So we were still underfunding. And if you look at the amount of applications that they've processed or they will process, it's almost like peanuts per application. So the last time we funded 5,000, which was basically 5%. I don't know if everybody's willing to go up a little on that, especially since it seems to be a low number with what they typically receive. But we should allocate them additional funds for processing the applications.
And Lori, you
What do you suggest?
Huh?
What do you suggest, Laurie?
To be honest, I was gonna suggest that we allocate 10,000, so it's a total of 15 that they've gotten for the whole 200,000.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of evened out that I think we underfunded them in the first round.
So you're suggesting an additional 10,000 for the above and beyond the 5,000 we originally did?
Right, then that makes it like 7.5% or whatever for the whole program.
Okay, so I'll make that motion, that
And-
we allocate an
that-
additional 10,000 for processing the applications to, who do we make that, who's that to?
Greater Lawrence Community Action Council.
Greater Lawrence Community Action Council. So that's a motion.
Okay,
I'll second it for discussion.
okay.
I guess the only question I have, Lori, is that we're comfortable with that. It's a little unusual to ask somebody how much they'd like to be paid. We're comfortable that with the integrity of that number, the 6 to 8%, that's what you've seen in other situations when they're involved with managing funds?
Well, the only one I've seen is home, because that's the only one I'm involved in. Actually, I should probably, I am on that board as the Board of Selectmen's representative. So, I mean, I can look into it more if you want to put it off and schedule another meeting.
Well,
No.
But I know George had suggested the last time we did a program, which was way before my time, that they charged like a lot more than what.
yeah.
Right, and I'm not looking to cast aspersions. It's just, I find it useful to get two numbers, just as a sanity check, but it doesn't sound like that number bothers you. And so, I'm fine with it too. I'd support it.
George, do you know? Because you would probably have a better idea than I do.
Well, I can't remember the percentage that we were paying for that, but it was more than, I want to say it was more than 15%. I remember the fees that we were paying was one of the reasons why we sort of dropped it. Robert, Joan, do you remember?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I remember being surprised by the fees in that earlier group too, Jim.
And then I think the home money allows up
Right.
to 15% for administrative fees, doesn't it, Lori?
How much?
15%?
See, when Lisa Green from the Home Consortium sent the contract, she had 3% in there. And
Well,
that's why I had originally said 3%. And then you had said that seemed really low when we were voting the last time. And then when I went to Evelyn to ask her what's typical, and she told me it's that what they get now is between 6 and 10%. So it's anywhere between 6 and 10.
Yeah.
And what we're suggesting today would be a total of 7.5. So we can certainly go lower. I just thought I'd bring it up because I did ask her what typically they get for these types of programs.
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised that they'll still do business with North Andover, since North Andover is only paying them 3%.
Yeah.
I think we have a little makeup.
Okay, particularly in light of the volume of the applications, it seems like a fair number, so.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I looked at it. If we had only gotten 25 applications, I sort of took the dollar amount and divided by the number of applications we got. And I think it came out to like, I don't know, $60 an application or something. Which takes a few hours at least to process.
Right.
I mean, they do have to spend time on this, don't they? Don't they have to go and inspect the apartment or something? They have to certify that it meets with a home, HSC standards or something?
They do for the home program. They are not for the emergency rental assistance program. They're having the landlord and tenant both sign off on the condition of the property.
They sign off that the conditions are satisfactory to the tenant?
Yes. Because it's an emergency program, by nature, we didn't want to get caught out in the weeds and all of that stuff. And it was suggested by the seminar that Chris and I had listened to on these emergency programs, that you try to simplify it as much as possible.
Right, okay, okay.
So no, they're not doing it for the emergency program, but they are doing it for the other one.
Can I move the motion?
Yeah, well, Dick, so are we ready to vote? Is there any more discussion? Dick had made the motion and Joan, you seconded.
Correct.
Does anyone else have any comments, discussion?
No.
No.
Okay, so we'll do roll call vote. George,
Yes,
Dick,
you're muted, Dick.
want to raise your hand?
Yeah.
Okay, Rob,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm a yes. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I forgot about that. All right, so back to the long term. Do you guys want to mull over the documents, think about whether we want to limit it to seniors? Plan on meeting again sooner rather than later so that we can get it moving? I don't know what everybody wants to do.
Well, the program now is limited to seniors, isn't it?
No,
The rental program?
no.
The
The
long,
home one with the home funds?
yeah,
No.
okay, but it's
So
limited.
the 9 people that you say are on that program, they're all seniors.
No.
Oh.
I was suggesting that we had at least 3 seniors that put in applications for the emergency program that did not qualify because they didn't lose income, but they're still having a hard time making their rent. So that's why I had suggested if we wanted to fund and put a contingency that it would be for seniors. But no, the people that are on it now, I think, well, I don't know. I just happen to know one of the people that's on it is a senior, so I can tell you at least one senior is on here. But I don't know, because I don't see any of these applications for the home program. Everything goes right through Greater Lawrence Community Action.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a time
This is Chris.
sensitivity to this, Lori, or when does this decision have to be made? Can we?
That is completely up to us. I just brought it up because I am seeing the applications come in for the emergency program. And I know of some of the people that didn't qualify that maybe would be able to qualify for a longer term program. But again, there's a lot more hoops that you have to jump through for that program. So I may think that they may qualify just because of their income, but they may not. I don't know, but it's certainly something that we could refer them to. But right now, there's not enough funds if those people were to qualify. I spoke with Evelyn about perhaps doing a wait list so they could sort of run through and see what the status was. And I could always go back to her and ask her, are there people on the wait list for North Andover and what's the dollar amount? And we could do it that way.
I think that'd be a great idea. That would give us a feel for the need, wouldn't it?
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A clear-cut, definitive feel for the need, as opposed to a suspicion, which is sometimes working in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can do that.
So do you
Right.
want to schedule a meeting in 2 weeks or something so we can vote on it if we get that information?
Yeah, let's schedule another meeting because I'm not even sure that they are prepared to take more applications in for this program because they're doing so many things with their like food bank has increased by 150% of the need for people that are going up, and their services have increased so much from this whole crisis that I'm not sure that this is something that, is going to happen in 2 weeks anyway, even if we did vote tonight. So why don't we schedule another meeting and I can get that information.
I agree.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll table this until next meeting.
Sure. So do we want to schedule it now, or do you want me to just email like we usually do?
I'm good to schedule it now if people have their calendars available.
What's today, the 5th? So,
2 weeks would be the 22nd.
2 weeks would be the 19th, wouldn't it?
19.
Oh, really? Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. 19th, right? I was looking at the end of the week. Already looking to Friday and beyond.
That works for me.
You want to meet on Friday?
No.
May 19th.
Oh, Tuesday is good.
The 19th is not good. There's a Board of Selectmen meeting.
Damn it.
So we could do,
Dick, aren't you on that board?
I think so. I don't have it on my calendar though.
just
We're meeting on a,
that
we're meeting on a
that was
Tuesday.
the original date of town meeting.
Right.
And so we just kept it. So we could do the 18th, and then well, no, that wouldn't give us enough time for the board to.
Well, if the state opens up on the 18th, we could all be down Jamie's. We might meet there.
Yeah, don't hold your breath.
Mm.
Oh, and then Memorial Day, and then the next week is Memorial Day.
Well, how about the 20th? Just how about the 20th? Wednesday.
Yep, we could do the 20th. Does that work for everybody?
Good for me.
Yeah, good for
Yep.
me.
It sounds fine.
Works for me as well.
Okay, is 5 o'clock a good time, or do you like to do it earlier, later?
5 is good.
Yep.
So 5:20 at, okay, so the next meeting will be May 20th at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Very good.
Lori, what time is our Board of Selectmen meeting on the 19th? I know we used to have them at 6:30 because it was before town meeting.
Yeah, it's 7. But
7.
we can move it if you guys want to.
I'll send an email out to you if you want to move it.
All right, so I think that's it. Does somebody want to make a motion to adjourn? Or if there's anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn as my dog chimes in.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call vote, George,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Joan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
and I am a yes. All right, we are
Thank you,
adjourned.
Clark.
Thanks, everyone.